If you could just like, not even a big deal. Like,
We're
if you
live
could
now.
retweet it. Okay, if you could just retweet it on your thing, that'd be nice. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Trophy Room pre-show. I'm your host, Joseph. So sorry we're late. Kyle poured coffee pot and broke everything. Whatever. I'm your host, Joseph. Alongside me, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
Just dandy. Just dandy.
Yeah. So usually we would have our little pre-show,
Uh-huh.
but again, who knows what happened?
I don't know what happened. OBS was like, hey, you know what, Kyle? You know what? Let's just erase all the assets you need for every scene, for every single show you do. Let's just get rid of it. Let's just and just not tell you about it. So I did not have the time to do the other one to make it all look all pretty up to my standard. So we're not doing Guess the Game this week.
Yeah,
we'll make it up.
But do we still have the intro? Do you think?
Yes, we still have the intro.
Okay,
so
good.
We're good.
That really does help me when I try to like do the timestamps.
Yes, intro's still good.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello, Rod. Hello, Hida. Hello, Sean McKenzie. Hello, Sindula. Hello, Duane Raksha. Hello, everybody watching and lurking. Welcome to the Trophy Room pre-show. This week has not been great for PlayStation. But
what are you talking about?
but what each and every one of us have been dealing with it this week in stride. We'll talk about it more. But kindness is definitely appreciated in these trying times. And I can only speak for myself, but I appreciate you all watching now.
And I'm just gonna go one step further because I know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who's watching live in the chat right now,
sure,
I guarantee it. We will have somebody come in to shit on Concord that isn't part of our community.
Yes,
and just sees the thumbnail. Just be prepared. Everyone, be prepared. Yeah. I guarantee it's gonna happen. Yeah, if it doesn't, I don't know.
Who knows? But really, kindness would be great. We're going through it again. I'll talk about it in the beginning of the show. But you know, people are people. You know, we're all going through it. All that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, Kyle, okay, enough pre-ramble. What happened?
Ryan and Chad goes, God, I'm tempted.
Ooh, the lizard guy sucked. Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Ryan. You are the champion.
Let me put in the what you've been playing segment for me so I don't forget.
Dre, I love this. This is the optimism I need. Concord might have been a massive L, but Astro is coming, so it's all good. God bless you, sir. Thank you so many people who are in the chat. It is now finally time. Kyle, you're in Zencaster?
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
I'm in Zencaster too to record this show. Are you ready? Are you ready to get the show on the road? Talk PlayStation?
Everyone in chat, fingers crossed. Let's see if OBS is not going to break anything. Okay. All right. We will see you in hopefully 16 seconds.
Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 392 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we chat about the unprecedented Concord situation. Kyle, I love how you wrote this intro. Situation, it definitely is. More PlayStation 5 Pro leaks. Sony doesn't have any original IP. Astrobot review talk and so much more as we do it live each and every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room and audio services the very next day. Alongside me, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
OBS definitely did fuck me around there a little bit.
Yeah. It
definitely did not stay the way it should have. So
Nope.
I had to restart the little drop down thing, but we're good.
Okay.
We're all
All right.
good.
That's great.
Having
Yeah,
a
we've had
blast.
some. Yeah, we've had some technical difficulties to get this show on the road. I'm hoping. Listen, I'm staying positive that it's not going to break for the rest of the night.
No, I
That we're
think we're
gonna.
good. I think we're
Yeah,
good.
we're.
Unless the internet, my internet, just completely just dies, we're good.
Please, I don't need any more bad bad voodoo to happen to us right here, right now. All right, listen, Kyle. Uh, enough of a lot of curses being set upon us while trying to start this show. Now that it's here and it's up and running, I got a starter question for you. Nay, two starter questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. One, Minecraft movie. Discuss.
Oh, have not seen the trailer. I've seen the stills. Um, doesn't look great.
Nope. It's okay. It looks very Spy Kids. Like,
Clearly generated backgrounds. You can tell they're in a studio kind of thing.
absolutely. For some reason, they took the hottest man in the world, Jason Momoa,
That is the
and
still I saw.
yeah, and turned him into everybody's butch aunt.
This might be a reference that I don't think a lot of people will get, and I'm trying to remember the name of the movie.
Okay.
I think that's the name, but it was Randy Quaid was an
Yeah.
Amish bowler in Kingpin, and
Okay.
I believe it's the same haircut style, like that little blonde bowl cut kind of thing. I was like, oh god, this is what we're doing. I believe Kingpin had like Woody Harrelson was his teacher. I think.
God.
I don't think it ages very well, but like
No.
that sticks out in my brain.
But here's the thing: the whole internet is giving this trailer a whole lot of shit. I understand
Yeah.
it doesn't look like a movie I would watch, but in truth, it's for kids, and I think they got the vibe.
Sure.
Like, truthfully, I'm like, well, how do you make a Minecraft movie? It's just Minecraft. This is not. I think someone on Twitter said it perfectly. This movie ain't for me, but it's for my skibbity bee little baby boy.
Oh Jesus.
It's for that generation. It ain't for me.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of people in this day and age needs to realize that some things are just not for them anymore.
Yeah.
Or it's not targeted for you, and that's totally okay.
Totally all right.
And if you still want to go watch it, if you're a fan of the thing, just temper your expectations and temper what you expect out of it. I'm not saying not to love it anymore. Of course, you still love what you love, but yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'll probably have to watch it later down the line because my clients will probably want to see it. But it is what it is.
They can't all be the Super Mario Brothers movie,
right? And I think too, it's like
I'm talking the old school one. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa. I'm really tired of everybody having to just take a shit on everything,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm just so over it. Can we just, I get it. It's not your bag. Do you have to make 18 posts about it? Like, do we have to make not liking it your personality?
Agreed.
I don't know. All right. The next starter question, I want your input on this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about it as the first topic of the night? Or do you want to just get the PlayStation 5 Pro stuff out of the way? Because it's more, we covered most of it last week when Bill Coon, before they leaked it out.
Uh-huh.
But now we know what the console, at least the sketching of it, looks like. And there's really one question that really needs to be asked. Would you want to handle this here or on the first topic? What do you think?
We can stick it to the first topic.
Okay, fair enough.
So we
fair
don't
enough.
break it up with the Patreon stuff in between.
That said, a little bit of housekeeping. Y'all, Astrobot is here. And if you're watching the video version, sorry, you don't get the Astrobot review right here, right now. But if you're on the podcast feeds, guess what? Later on down the road, there's a nice, beautiful little 15-minute segment with me and Matt from PlayStation Generations talking all about Astrobot, and we will announce the winner there mid-show. Of course, our Astrobot by the Players show that is recorded on October 6th. If you want to get in, where all of us in the community gather around, talk all things Astrobot, go over to our Trophy Room Discord server, message Marcus O'Neill, message Drellish, and they'll see if they can't pencil you in. But we love By the Players. It's our monthly show where we deep dive into a PlayStation game or just game that we're digging, and we all chat about it. Me, Kyle, sometimes there, I'm sometimes there, sometimes both of us are there, and we're all just chatting as a community about the games we love. So go on over. If you have any questions, ask Marcus O'Neill, ask Drellish, and they will get you situated. So that said, Kyle, I got sad housekeeping. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get this one out of the way. You may have noticed I may not be in the best of spirits as of right now. That is because some personal stuff has happened. Unfortunately, it looks like Grandma Badbit doesn't have much time left. And that said, there may be 1 or 2 weeks that I'm not here because I am going to be helping my family out during that time. So, in order to prep y'all, we will be bringing in a guest third chair. This is just going to help Kyle so that he doesn't have to think about who's going to be his, host of the week. So for the next few weeks, we're going to have a guest on the show. They'll be our little guest third chair, our guest co-host for, again, the next month or two. And then I'll be having a nice little staycation with the fam and doing all that, serious stuff. All right. Sound good? Sound okay? All right. Good. Excellent. That said, I want to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest member, HKyle_85 at the bronze tier. I'd like to say that's the doppelganger version of you, Kyle.
I think that's Kyle 85.
Yeah, but this Kyle wears his hat like the correct way, not backwards. That's the only way we can tell you guys apart.
See, look, I know that it bothers you that I wear my hat this way.
No, it doesn't. No, why would it bother me?
Joe, you legit just said he wears it the correct way. Why would you say that if you weren't against the way I wear it?
I'm not saying there's a correct way to wear a hat.
I agree, but would you rather have a cap covering the moneymaker here? Like, what are we doing?
Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to cramp your style. I think if you wore,
we all heard it. You said the correct way.
It's the correct way. It doesn't mean it's a good way.
No, there's no correct way to wear a hat.
There's a correct way.
Inside? No, there's not. My hair's a mess. That's why I'm wearing it.
Well, you shouldn't even be wearing a hat inside.
Oh my God.
That's
you
bad
are
luck.
Like an Amish family from the 1800s with your backwards ass takes.
I'm just saying, and I would hate if you wore it correctly, where like because I think you look like a little boy. You look like, I always think when I think of a small child, I think of the little kid in Indy 3. Yeah, see, don't like that. Ooh, no, don't like that at all. Let's change it.
That's better. A little bit to the side.
A little bit to the side.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I appreciate that.
No,
I appreciate that.
I hate because I can see the. No, I can't. I can't do it. It's out of the corner of my eye. This is great for audio listeners, by the way. That's fantastic.
That's great. I love this. We're like, hey, listen, mortality. Also, there is a correct way of wearing a hat. Great way to open up a show. Jeez Louise. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, Jay Shea, Jedi Master N, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Bertos Maximus, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silk Cannon, Decimine, Mitchell Gramling, and Mike Thomas. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hyde Indoors, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Androsaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Stingray X, Robbie Bobby Miller himself, Brenton Zachary, Final Fan, XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold, E.T., Tino Sixspeed, N. Johnson, Sean McAnsey, Rick Arrington, Matthew King, Duh Overlord, Dewane Raksha, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Midler, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Solo, Big G, and Suddy. Thank you all so much for your wonderful patronage. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great. It's because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. So if you ever caught you through a long car ride, a tough day at work, whatever your situation may be, it really does mean a lot if you toss us a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. So thank you all so much. That said, hey, Kyle, it's time to square up some of the worst news in PlayStation this week. Are you ready to go?
I guess so.
All right, ready. I put the good news in first.
Sure.
Okay.
You say good news.
Oh.
This comes from Wesley Inpool over at IGN, and Wesley writes, PS5 Pro leak reveals alleged name and design of the console. In an article on Deal Labs, reliable PlayStation leaker Bill Kuhn said the final name of the mid-gen refresh is indeed PS5 Pro, and published a sketch of its design based on what is claimed to be the final packaging box of the new console. The sketch above shows a console design similar to the existing PS5 Slim, white in color and with 2 USB-C ports and a power button on the front. But there are 3 black stripes in the middle of the outer layer of the PS5 Pro that are not found on the base models. Bill Kuhn noted that the PS5 Pro appears slightly thicker than the PS5 Slim. The PS5 Pro seen by Bill Kuhn does not include a disk drive. What's unclear is whether Sony plans to also release a version of the console with a disk drive. A price is not mentioned. The controller remains the base DualSense. Bill Kuhn expects Sony to announce a PS5 Pro during the first half of September 2024. IGN has asked Sony for comment.
All right, Kyle Stevenson, are you ready for this? We talked a lot about this in the beginning of the show last week, so I don't feel like there's a lot to really go over other than a few points. One being, it looks like this is just a thicker PlayStation 5 Slim. It's using the same plates, supposedly. How does that make you feel off the rip? Because like the design is, it's a thicker boy, and it has the 3 Adidas lines across it, everybody's saying. Which I like that. It's a good pickup. But what are you thinking? Design wise. Has it tickled your fancy?
Yeah. They literally took the Slim. They're like, hey, you know what everyone loved? The one stripe. What if? What if we had 2 more?
And one guy's like, whoa, Jim, are you out of your mind too? What about just one? That's good enough.
I'd like to think, and Jiminy agrees, I'd like to think that they started out with, it's the PS5, let's add 5 stripes, and someone goes, whoa, way too many. Let's settle on 3.
Yeah. They're like, all right, fair.
My biggest issue is the no disk drive. Again, this is all rumors and speculation and whatever, but like, it's the thing that everyone told me, Kyle, you're on the wrong side of history here. But when I came up with the issue of, collector's editions, not including the disc anymore, and we get a code, but then still offering disc versions of the game, I have a shelf full of PS5 games that are part of my backlog yet.
Yeah.
If I were to get the PS5 Pro with no disc drive, what is the solution there? Do I
go get a
go to PlayStation.com and type in all my UPC codes and they'll give me a digital code for it? Like, what's the solution? That is my, like, they seem to have a system in place where they're still catering to both things. Mm-hmm. But if there is only one version of the Pro and there is no disc drive, and for those of you that want physical media, we're going to be forced to buy that detachable disc drive for this thing.
Yeah.
I don't like that, especially if this thing is super expensive like we talked about last week. Like,
fair enough.
That's, boy.
Well, first, I want to thank Nissa's amazing generosity. She gifted 5 Trophy Room PlayStation memberships. Thank you so much, Nissa. You're amazing. Thank you. But yeah, no, you're right. So I want you to take a step off the ledge for a second.
I can't.
Okay?
I can't.
No, because we don't know if that's just the way they saw it on the box or if it indeed doesn't include a disk drive.
No,
What
you're
if there's
right.
a SKU that does?
I also I said that before I went on that little rant. Like, listen, it's all up in the air. This is all rumor.
Right.
But from that image and from reading this thing, like, what if there is no disc drive? That is like, I'm a diehard PlayStation fan. I shouldn't. I don't have the money to buy this. I probably will, but if there's no disc drive, I
Right.
will never get this, and it's gonna be a problem.
Well, Chun 2D2 writes in the live chat, are we even sure if the disk drive would be compatible?
I
One would assume.
Does that not just hook up with like a USB, right?
Yep. It's not so
So,
much a USB, it's like its own little socket you get to
oh, okay.
connect it into the side. So theoretically, if you have a PlayStation 5 Slim, but how many people do, you could just plug it into your Pro model. All right. This actually goes into the next question. Fluke23 writes, hey guys, I hope you're doing great this week. Well, Fluke, 5 minutes ago, I gave you a bit of a spoiler. Not great. My question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeah. Trips for the Cricket Cowboys in the room. The Tokyo Game Show is almost here, and with that, the possibility of a PlayStation 5 Pro being announced. If you had two options, what would you rather have? Option one, the Pro is announced with a price tag similar to the PS4 Pro, remember, $400, but no disc drive. Option two, the Pro is announced with a subsequential price tag of $700, but you get to pick a new revealed feature of your choice. On that note, how would you rate your anticipation for the show? If you were to use a rating, let's say Jiminy's out of how many Jiminy's would you give? For me, I'm thinking something big is on the way. If so, that's definitely 5 Jiminy's from me. As always, keep up the amazing work. Much love. Also, here's a well-earned trophy pop for both of you.
Thanks, Luke.
Check out the questions. He put a little trophy in where we put the questions
Oh, I'll
for the
check
show.
on my phone because I can't.
Yeah. And there's a little Jiminy in it. I love it.
Hey, sweet.
Truthfully, I'm going to say something very outrageous.
Very brave.
Very brave, bold. If you gave me a Pro with no disc drive and it was $500, let's just say, I'm there day one. I think that's terrific. I think that's great. And I think that then the option of, hey, here's a disc for, ye other layman folk out there. You still exist, Kyle, right? People like you still exist. Here it is. Is it the best solution? No. But I do feel like to keep that price down, it just makes sense to ship it with that one. Because even when you're shipping it with 2 SKUs, like think about it like this. If it's not digital, then you're shipping something out with 2 other models, and then one's going to be the heavy favorite, and then you have to the manufacturing between all of that is going to be whatever. Why not just streamline it into just one core device?
I
Kyle
feel like I am taking crazy pills. We can accomplish that Joe, if the disc version is the only model. You can still download digital games on the disc version. If the only model is a digital only with no disc drive, but still have plenty of physical PS5 games on the market,
sure,
that's dumb. I don't understand the logic of having the base model of the Pro without a disc drive. I just don't get that. It's not like it can only play disc games and can't connect to the internet. You can still download digital things on a disc drive version.
I just think it's all about, and I know you don't like this, but it's all about cutting those costs, man. Right? So how do you get this thing as cheap as possible so that people actually go out there and adopt it? Because listen, there is still a market for people that buy physical games, but we cannot ignore the fact that the majority of folks out there, I think that it's like a crazy number. I think it's like 70-30 are out there buying their games digital, right? There's still a healthy chunk that buys a physical, but it's less and less. So what is a better way for PlayStation to get, another 10% out to the digital realm, which is like, hey, here's this big, this big old console, no disk drive, $600. I think that gets people through the door, man. I think it's all about let's take ourselves out of it. If I was big corporation Sony, it's like, what does it make? How do we get people to primarily spend on the PSN as their main go-to? And I think they've been doing a good job by offering choices. But I think when you are putting something out, Kyle, that is so expensive, right, in a market that it's going to probably struggle at, why not you give it the best chance by just, again, taking one object out of it and just saying, hey, it's digital. Here it is, $600. Because I'll be honest, I'd rather a $600 PlayStation 5 Pro than a $700 one. You know? Kyle's not happy. Kyle's upset.
I don't know. I feel like again, lock me up, put me in an institution. Nothing you will say will make me change my mind on this.
Fair.
Like, because counterpoint to that, with you saying like digital only folks, the split is crazy, which it is.
Yeah.
But what about those folks that don't have the best internet?
Fair.
Like there's a huge part of the world where internet is not as fast as some folks.
Right.
That have the luxury of having. And granted, you could say, well, then don't get the pro or blah, blah, blah. But if you are trying to make the easiest point of entry to upgrade to a pro, it should have as many features as possible to cater to such a wide net.
Okay. All right. That's a better argument, I feel. Other than I don't want it. I feel like that's better. And I would also like to preface with, this is just one still, right?
Sure.
A sketch even. We don't know what the other side of this thing could look like. It could be a whole gotcha moment. It's like, yeah, disk drive is still here. I also think that if it doesn't include a disk drive, it is spelling out what's to come. And I think that is a bit of a bummer. I don't see a world right now. I don't see the next console generation after PS5, so I'm not talking like PS7, right? I don't see that console has a disk drive. I don't even think it's talked about. I think like the next generation, even then, it's a question mark. You're seeing so many take a look at like the Steam Deck, ROG Ally. Just take a look at your computer right now. I don't have a disk tray in my PC. Everything's working fine. Everything's up to code. So I just think we're getting to this future where, even what is it? Nintendo is like 50-50 digital and physical, where it's like, yeah, even the folks that are still offering physical as a main thing, you're seeing digital just become the dominant force, and I'm just trying to get you to see the light before it's too late.
Oh, I see the light, and I still fucking hate it. I will be irrationally angry about this until the day I die.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
To me, I don't know. It's just real dumb. Real dumb. Okay. Jimmy's with me. He loves it here.
I know, he's also saying build the wall. That's crazy. Okay.
Definitely not.
No, that's what he said. He said chirp, chirp, chirp. Her emails. Anyway, Kyle, listen. All that aside, it's time to share an important message about Concord. You want to take it away? This comes straight from the blog itself.
Sure. An important update on Concord. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5. Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to chuckle because I say since the launch, it's been less than 2 weeks. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Your support and the passionate community that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. However, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game in our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6, 2024, and explore options, including those that will better reach our players. While we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for PS5 or PC. If you purchased the game for PlayStation 5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. Once refunded, players will no longer have access to the game. We'll keep you updated, and thank you again to all the free gunners who have joined us in the Concord Galaxy.
Oh man, this is this is crazy. Now, Josh Hamrick, the Concord's design director, shared their thoughts on X today, Twitter, and they said the following: "For all of those reaching out with love, you are the reason we make games. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. Now I'm gonna go win this area control match." Unquote. Kyle, PlayStation has experienced the man.
I don't even know how to tackle this.
Right.
I have so many thoughts running through my brain. Angry, sad,
disappointed.
I don't know.
And yet somehow expected. Let's get right into the questions, because I'm just bewildered. I need a guide to help me through this too. Kevin Ainsworth writes, "I warned everyone not to let Concord die, like they did Battleborn, but did they listen? Nay. So my only question is, who do I direct my rage at for every live service game I actually like dying? Is it the devs' fault, PlayStation's, or the anti-woke mob?" In all seriousness, do we think Concord ever relaunches? Because this has tax write-off written all over it. Kyle, I'm gonna be real, man. I'll go. I'll go first if you don't mind.
For it.
This game ain't coming back. It's not coming back.
Logically, sure, I can see that. But also logically, you're nuts. That's kind of where my brain's at. Because, we literally just got confirmation at opening night live that in the new Amazon Prime show, Secret Level, there's going to be an episode based around Concord that a lot of money went into. So you're going to tell me that we're going to get an episode of Concord in that, but with no game to tie it to? Ever?
Nothing. Ever.
I could see it coming back at some point, but
no.
I think the comparison I saw is do we have another No Man's Sky situation on our hands? And
nope. It's dead. Austin writes in the chat, and I can't help but agree with him. The way the devs are tweeting, it seems like this game is dead.
Which is so
when they say things like,
"Oh my god,
explore our options."
Yeah.
Right? It's like, that's not saying you're bringing it back. That's just saying you're thinking about the option of bringing it back.
Yeah.
This is such a devastating loss. Rumor has it through some analysts out there that this game only sold north of 25,000 copies. This was touted as a AAA, blockbuster hero shooter.
Yeah.
And PlayStation has missed the mark. I mean, dramatically is saying something. Listen, I take some of the things I said about Paul Tassi back. When you look at the numbers and go, wow, Lord of the Rings Golem game it did better on Steam than Concord. That's crazy. That's nuts. And so, you're right. I could see a future where maybe in December they're like, "Hey, gang, for PlayStation Plus members, you get to play Concord for free or whatever. Or here's the lineup of
maybe
the roster."
December 2025. I don't think of this year.
But and as I say that, it's like, even if they put it out free to play, Kyle, it still didn't do great from what we've seen anecdotally. It still didn't do great on Steam, whether it was the beta or not. And I think seeing games like Deadlock, the MOBA / hero shooter out from Valve, that's in alpha, reach over 100,000 players, come out around the same time as Concord and just totally eat its lunch. It's not just telling about the game, but it's also telling about, oh wow, we really missed when to launch this game. Like it tells two stories. One that's more prominent, which is, you know, eh, I'm not gonna pull punches this episode. No one wanted it. In the grand scheme of things, I may enjoy the game. I gotta take my feelings out of it. Nobody in the grand schemes wanted this. And not in the way that they were selling it, not in the way that they were publishing it.
Again,
so whose fault is it,
We criticized it last week. They marketed this terribly.
Right.
That first trailer should have been followed up within 4 months with actual gameplay instead of waiting, what was it, a year and a half until we saw the game in action? Like,
and then even then, question mark.
Terrible.
Yeah. You should have done, and I forget who said this. I can't take credit. Wasn't my original thought. But when you take a look at every time there's a new hero announcement out of Blizzard about whatever it is, whether it's Overwatch, great example of like, hey, here's the new hero, and this is their little cinematic. Like, instead of promising these vignettes that we literally never got, like we got the same two from the last beta. And then you kill the game. Instead of those vignettes that told nothing, we're just in a living room. What about, hey, here's this week's vignettes about Vale and how, how she got her robot legs, why she's such a proficient sniper. Here's the origin of Lennox, like things to amp up and build up each and every character. Not this, we promise there's a story. Right off the rip, it's like, if the selling point is, hey, every week I get to tune in and watch a 2-minute video of what's happening in the world of Concord, I can just tune in to that on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. That doesn't log me into the game. Instead, make it about the characters. Make it about their backstory. Fill that world up that way instead of promising the world and then just... I to me, if you ask whose fault is it, I say it's across the board.
Oh yeah, it's not a singular person to point a finger at. It's a failure at every level. And like you mentioned at the beginning, we both enjoyed our time with this game. I did not play it when it launched. I played it in the beta. I played an entire weekend's worth, and I had a blast coming from a single player person like myself. I had a great time. Yeah. This is kind of what I was worried about way back when we got the plan of like Sony going really heavy into live service. Thanks, Jimbo. Yeah. And now we're seeing, Factions 2 canceled. We're seeing this one seemingly probably gone forever. You gotta think like, what's going on with Haven? Should they be worried? Marathon, like what? Like
put a fork in it. Yeah,
I don't understand. I wish I could time travel back in time and shake Jimbo and be like, "What are you doing? You're chasing a fad that you're never going to be able to catch up to."
None. And I mean, like Nissa writes in the chat, I agree with Ains on this from Season Gaming. They should have made Season 1 closer to launch. That wouldn't have helped. I'd argue that would not help. That ain't bringing anybody in. Again, when you have like a free-to-play alpha, pre-alpha of a game doing better than you, and I mean wildly so, like literally like 100 times better than yours, 100,000 times better, you have yourself a huge situation. I think PlayStation thinking that they could put this game out at $40, marketing it the way that they had. I love when because I've been seeing these questions online. It's like, how could, and maybe we'll have it here in the question, but like, how could people think that PlayStation didn't have faith in this game? Because they spent money to acquire the studio. They spent money developing the game. They spent money on, pushing it out.
They made it a point to say like, hey, your $40 will get you all the content you need to play the game for as long as you own it. Like, there is no paid battle pass and all that stuff. It's $40 as entry, and then you're good to go. Like, they had some faith behind it.
They made a goddamn controller about it, which I'm gonna get in a few weeks.
Oh, 1,000,000%. As soon as I have the money, I definitely want to get it.
It's a collector's item. Gosh darn it, it's gonna sit on my shelf.
I would say more so than the actual physical game, just because like I know you have it. And I'm kind of jealous, and I'm very tempted to find a copy eventually.
Yeah,
But like
it's just
it's an Anthem. It's a PlayStation Anthem situation, and those physical copies were like $2 at some point.
and if I may have one more rant, um, to me, what angers me about this is that there's fault all around. I think it's the way PlayStation marketed the game. I think it's also partially on the devs of how they put out this game. The monetization model just didn't work. Someone's ass is on the line for that alone. And also, I'm gonna say something really because we poke fun of the anti woke mob, but when I say this criticism, don't misunderstand why I'm like Lennox should be wearing a bikini. The art style was hit or miss to be very kind. Like there were some characters like Lennox that were like, okay, there's promise here. They look cool. Star Child looks cool. Hamar, my wife. But then you got, Barf Up Mushroom Boy. You have,
Whoa! That was my favorite character. What's the matter with him?
Lurk. He looked like garbage. Like some of these characters were just like, hey, I'm from the Monsters Inc. lab where like a human toy got in and we need to like disinfect it all.
I need to do a timeout there briefly.
Please.
Please enlighten me completely.
Sure.
Because this is another thing of where like I think it's dumb.
Okay.
This is a first-person shooter game.
Sure.
Why do you care what your character looks like?
Why do we care about what Tracer looks like? But she's iconic.
That's what I mean. I don't.
Right.
I don't care.
Like when we see Tracer in a cinematic, you're like, oh, hot damn! Like,
sure, cinematics.
She's the bee's knees. I take a look at like the Master Chief, right? Like, there's more reasons as to why, but like he's iconic. He's a first person, perspective.
Yeah, but there's cinematics telling a story, like in a first person shooter.
All right, I'll take that. Add one over. Why do we love Doom Guy? Right? He's just a floaty gun. It's because like those images instill those characters in us, and we get to embody them. Right? So when if I put you out a cover that looked like this, going, hey, does this look appealing? And like it's spoon people and pudding women. It's like, no, it does. It looks like shit.
Hold up. Like spoon people and pudding women? Excuse me?
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
They all look goofy and kind of weird. Like I'm thinking like something out of Rick and Morty. It's like
spoon people like pudding women is what you just said.
Whatever, man.
Chun in chat. No, I agree. Like I get that. In Heroes, Chun says in hero shooters, you also see the heroes on your team and all that. I get that. I also think it's crazy how much money you spend on Fortnite skins.
Exactly. It's action figures, man, and I want the coolest one.
That's a me mental block.
Yeah,
I understand. I'm in the minority there.
Blizzard made a giant gorilla, like iconic. You know what I'm saying? So the art direction was a miss. There's no debating it. Again, we even said it in my review. It's like some of these characters are great. Some of them, let's go back to the drawing board. And I feel like a lot of them do. I get it. So maybe their idea was, let's make it so that we're not fixated on the male gaze, but how about we fixated on any gaze that's not upsetting? Like seriously, I do think that plays a role. I do. I do think the art direction was a miss. I do think there's problems with even like the devs actually listening to our concerns, because even out of the beta, walking into that game, there was still big issues to be had with some of the characters still not being, balanced. Lennox, Dew, with his shield, like there were problems, and I think we just want to glance over it because unflattery people are pointing these things out. But like, listen, the art direction did not sell any. The cover of this game did not sell people, and that's what these covers are supposed to do. I don't want to. I know I sounded very like dickish, but again, I gotta just call it how I see it on this one, guys. Drellish writes, greetings, gents. I think Sony's swift decision to pull Concord was a missed opportunity to explore critical alternatives that have revived other live service games. First, transitioning to free-to-play model could have broadened its player base, as seen with Fortnite. Secondly, fostering community engagement by involving players with key influencers in development could have built loyalty and provided essential feedback. Lastly, implementing strong marketing drive seen and felt by all, including a transparent content roadmap with regular updates, might have generated more player interest. Similar to strategies used in Destiny 2, these approaches, plus others, could have transformed Concord into a successful live service game. This leads to an important question for you guys. Could a more strategic approach have turned Concord into a thriving live service title? Part of me says no still. I think this is why it's not coming back. Because when you put it free to play, people are still going to go, right, that game with spoon people and pudding women, nah, I'm good. And they're still going to pass on it. You're still going to see people sharing the Steam DB, posts, and I bet that makes Sony more aggravated than I think people would like to let on. So I don't think there's anything that they can do at this point. I don't know. What say you?
Not at this point, but to Drell's question, like, could a more strategic approach have changed? 1000%. The marketing, straight up, would have helped big time. And I feel like having a beta way earlier to get the player feedback could have helped tremendously. You say no just because you're being a little negative Nancy right now. I'll be completely honest. If the plan was better laid out, it felt to me like Baby's first live service game. It's how they rolled this out. They saw what worked. They're like, okay, we need heroes. We need interesting ones. People love backstory. Let's really go hard on the cinematics. But they forgot the one key thing is getting player feedback and showing the game off. There was such a dead time of like, all we knew about this game was a spaceship with a cheeseburger on it.
Right.
And then when we saw it at SGF, around SGF this year, and then a few weeks later we finally got to play it, it was too late to implement all these changes. And I feel like they just kind of wanted to rush it out to get it out there and hope that it would catch fire. It didn't, and now we're here. But yeah. I really feel like if they had an actual plan to slow drip feed us on, here's some characters, here's a private beta to get some valuable feedback outside of just the QA testers internally, and balance it out, I feel like we would be singing a different story here.
It's just such a big ask for me to. It's like if I went, Joe, if I just exercise every day and I ate a salad, I would lose 60 pounds. But I have to do those things. Like it's easy for me to think about, hey, here's the perfect plan of like how to fix this game. And it starts by doing none of the things we did. Right.
I'm saying that plan today,
yeah,
nothing will work. I'm saying going back in time, if they did that plan, we would be sitting here singing a slightly different story.
Sure. But I would like to point at George Alvarez over at Pop Agenda.
Uh-huh.
He wrote something really interesting on Twitter. He said, folks are savvy and genuinely know what they want. All the marketing resources in the world can't sway someone if the game just isn't speaking to folks. What I'm saying is you can have a home front or a brink in this business nowadays. And I think that's 100% right.
Yeah.
Look, Battleborn did not speak to people. You don't see Battleborn anywhere, right? Mm-hmm. You get these rare once in a moment where like the community's so strong, you get a predecessor, right? The once Paragon game. But like maybe you get a City of Heroes situation where it's just built off of just community engagement. Mm-hmm. But that is just and to me, I feel like once people saw the initial trailer, look, I mean, sorry, Sean. Sean made up his mind in 5 seconds that he didn't like the game.
Yeah.
Right? He looked at it, he's like, I'm in. And then like the 5-second clip, I'm out. And it's like, okay. Like I would have taken at least 15 more seconds. But like people genuinely will look at something like they'll look at this cover and go, I'm out. I'll look at the trailer going, there was no gameplay here. It comes out in a month. Okay, whatever. I'm out. There was definitely ways of showing this game better, but I very much think that initial trailer would have that was the death nail. And I don't think there is any coming back from this. I think the devs are acting like it's already dead. I think, there's not enough of a community to even garner, hey, listen, this is awesome, right? There's only dozens of us, me included. I have to, get used to that. So I don't see this coming back. I just see this as a thing that now haunts PlayStation. Every live service game is on notice. Every live service game that PlayStation makes, every multiplayer thing, they're gonna go, is this Helldivers or is this Concord? Is this Concord? It looks like Concord. This is giving me Concord vibes. You're gonna get that constantly in the news write-ups. Like, here's the thing. Take this question, Josh, of thank you for writing in. I don't want to be a dick to you. I'm just in the mood. Take this question and throw it over to Haven. Haven, you got to look at this going, we need to do everything different. We need to think about these things that you just listed here, Drellish, because I know you're a communications guy, a marketing dude. So they're like, we need to hire Drellish so that we don't do what they just did. Because if I'm Herman, I'm looking for a reason, man. I'm looking for one bad day for Hank, I mean Herman, to just throw the axe at one of these things. I don't think that PlayStation wants to do this live service thing anymore. I think things like Concord and Helldivers has scared them a bit. Helldivers, how, you might ask? Look at how fast a community can turn on you. Look at how bad the news is about PlayStation. And they're like, oh, we hope Astro fixes this. It's just a bad look, man.
Astro fixes all. The only thing when it comes to fair games, which I feel has been doing a slightly better job, even though it's the same thing. We saw that initial trailer. We haven't seen anything since. It's in the same show as the Concord initial one. At least that initial trailer, we got a vibe of what that game is going to be.
Yes.
It's got another step forward in it. I just hope whenever we see gameplay or whenever we see it next, it's actually going to work.
BBA Jr. writes, can you imagine who in Sony thought, yeah, this is the studio to buy after seeing the game? I mean, Herman tweeted out, hey, we're really excited to partner with Firewalk in this game. And to think that Sony went, hey, doing things that they have not already, that they've never done before, right? Buying a studio before they even put out the game. Before this launch, Kyle and I would say, wow, that's really confident. They must really like what they're seeing. Now it's like, what the hell did they see? Truthfully, what the hell did they see? I'd like to know.
Was it just the cinematics? Is that all they saw?
Whoa!
It's crazy.
The sandwich. Because here's the thing. And I've seen a lot of people, I think it's like Blandrew YouTube over on Twitter, I saw put out this question. I think Colin and Greg also on their respective shows asked this. Is this what Jimbo got fired over? Like, let's be real. Months separated. What's happened? They bought Bungie. The last few months we've seen that's been an absolute mess. Concord and Firewalk, that's dead. Fire Sprite, the Horizon Call of the Mountain, of which I enjoyed, but did not move a single PSVR 2 unit. When we actually, take a step back at Jimbo's real legacy, give him credit where credit's due, launching a console during a global pandemic, awesome. But then let's also take a look at it saying, oh, wow, yeah, no, he spent, look at the Bungie. Look at what Bungie's up to right now. It's billions upon billions of dollars. Nothing to show for it. These were the people that were supposed to be the liaison for your live service games, and now you're about to take them over because they can't run themselves. You're supposed to help them. And Sertonus writes in with a similar, same vein of question. I'm sorry for the rant, Kyle. I really will let you talk. I'm just real angry. The sudden killing of Concord by Sony marks yet another instance of how Jimbo's strategy has failed. All of the recent decisions to take what were expected to be exclusive games for the Green Team coming to PlayStation make it fairly clear that, quote, real gamer Uncle Phil master plan is faring no better. My question is, at this moment, whose strategy do you feel is hurting their respective company more, and whose will ultimately prove to be disastrous? Also, let's go to the moon and back, baby. Oh, Sertonus. Everybody has a black eye, man. It's real rough for everybody out there.
Yeah. To that question, and I swear I'm not just doing it because I'm a PlayStation guy. I could see Xbox's strategy being a little bit more disastrous for their fan base than this one is for our PlayStation ecosystem. Simply put, because they're taking what should be exclusive games and putting it on the other quote unquote competing platform. This is just a PlayStation situation where they bought into a type of game. They didn't go all in. Like, we're still getting single player stuff. And you know, the PlayStation games that we know and love. So it's less disastrous, I feel. It's still a massive blow. It's like a giant explosion that happened out of nowhere. I just feel like the decisions happening over on the Green brand might be a little bit more disastrous than this one.
Okay. Here's what I would say. If we're talking about things to sell consoles, yeah, no, Phil Spencer disastrous.
Yes.
If we're talking about how to evolve the company into something else, Jimbo is disastrous.
Oh, yeah. Two completely.
Because
I gotcha.
Yeah, because listen, we're the console war's over. The box that won was PlayStation, right? But when you take a look at Xbox as a platform and Microsoft gaming as a whole, they're making a shit ton of money, right? By putting their games everywhere. And I think, Kyle, you will also see PlayStation do the same, just where it makes sense. We're already seeing it with Lego Horizon. What says that they can't do that again? Right? What if there is another PlayStation quote unquote exclusive going somewhere else that's not PC? What if Helldivers truly is going to Xbox? Would that be the worst thing in the world?
No.
I don't think so. So I think it's really hard for us to say any of that when both companies are still in the green, doing really well financially, and as platforms themselves, they're both making more money than they ever have. It's just right now we're in this stage as a industry where no one knows which way is up right now. No one knows what the future of that premium game truly looks like anymore. And, you know, I think in terms of evolution, Jimbo has been an absolute disaster. And the one thing that I would like, just again, the whole live service initiative I just spoke about. The PSVR stuff did not work, right? Canceled games like The Last of Us multiplayer game, which I want to see people stop saying, oh, Last of Us died, so this game could come out. It's like, dude, I'm here to let you in on something. That game was not great. Like, you want to know how? They canceled it. And I love, again, shout out to Greg, because he said it, and it's echoing what I've been feeling for literally over a year now, since they announced it was on ice, which is, do you want to be the Naughty Dog studio that puts out the first not 90 or high 80? Right? How many BioWare multiplayer games are you gonna get? How many Crystal Dynamics' Avengers are you gonna get? Right? How many Rocksteady Suicide Squads are you gonna get until you go, oh wait, maybe a prestige single player studio that's proficient and legendary in that field shouldn't be making this game?
It's almost like we've been saying that for years since this plan came out. Because that's a great thing you brought up, and to put it in terms that some might understand that I love because I'm a sports guy. The 80, oh my god, why am I blanking? The 86 Mets, when they won the World Series, very famously against the Red Sox, between the legs of Bill Buckner. It's a famous sports moment.
Sure, sports.
When that when that happened beforehand, every Mets batter that went up to bat, said to their teammates, "I ain't making the last out. It's not going to be me. I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to do my job. Then it's up to you to keep that going, because I'm not going to lose this series for this team and for the city because of me and my fuck up." So similar thing, like, if you're Naughty Dog, no, I am not going to lower the standard and the prestige that of games we put out because something is inferior and what people want to see from us. And that's what I feel like way back when we heard this plan of all these live service games is a thing that we were touting and screaming from the rooftops. We want PlayStation to stick with what they are good at, and that is really highly polished single player narrative things, or just games that they know how to make, and not brand new fields for studios who are not familiar in making those games. There's a difference between Guerrilla going from Killzone to Horizon and a different genre, to then Naughty Dog taking on a live service multiplayer only title that will change the face of what their studio is.
Right. And then also think that was a huge risk for them to do as well.
Gigantic risk. Yeah.
Right. And so, like, we talk about the one risk where it works, and we talk about the dozens others where it doesn't. And listen, this is coming from a guy. I see some Anthem love from Silcan in the chat. I'm right there with you. I loved the mechanics of Anthem. You kidding me? Hell, I love the mechanics of Rocksteady and Avengers Existed. Nonetheless, no matter how much I like those games, it doesn't escape from the reality that is, they did not hit for the majority of people, because when people see Rocksteady, they go, Batman. They do not see Harley Quinn and Shark Guy. What was his name? No,
with
they
guns?
Don't.
What?
With guns? Huh? No. When we think Crystal Dynamics, we are not thinking Spider-Man, right? And, like, let's take a look at, like, a company like Insomniac as well.
What? Say that again?
Spider-Man, because remember they put Spider-Man in the game. Crystal Dynamics.
For Avengers. Got it.
You know, and, like, just take a look at Spider-Man and how brilliantly engineered that game was off the bones of games like Sunset Overdrive and Ratchet and Clank, because essentially it was what Insomniac knows how to make.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, even when you see them branch out, it's smart decisions, not these, hey, you're going to go out there and make a live service game company that's all about the story and games. No, it's not. So it's like asking Michael Bay to write erotica. There's going to be an explosion somewhere mid intercourse.
Chill, let's not act like his movies are just erotica on film. The dude gets a hard on every time an explosion goes off. Like, what are we doing?
That's right. He also gifted us Megan Fox at the car. But yeah, it's, again, rough. And something that we've been on record to say repeatedly was that this situation, they had 12 games. And what did I say? One or two of them is going to make it. And it would be a bloodbath.
So far, we got one.
Kind of.
With Helldivers.
Like, Helldivers 3 is going to, listen, Helldivers 3 is going to pop off, as the kids say, right?
If
right
we
now,
ever get a Helldivers 3.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Well, right now it's at Skibbity Bee, Ohio is, but one day it will be hopping, locking, and dropping it, dude.
Oh.
And from an update from PlayStation Universe, Christopher Dring over at GameIndustry.biz said in a micro podcast, I love those podcasts, by the way. Christopher, you're welcome anytime, my friend. Quote, heard good things about Jay Raymond's game, and Sony is pretty bullish all about it. Okay. Quote, I know people are a bit skeptical about it. A bit's a little much, but all right. But I've heard from an internal chatter that it's very positive. He said adding that Fair Games with money sign is likely one live service title that Sony is really focusing on to support and try to make work. It's a sci-fi heist game against a bunch of super corporations and has a bit of Watch Dogs vibe to it, despite being a multiplayer title.
So yes. Canna in chat saying Helldivers 3 will be very demure, very mindful. don't give Joe more ammunition, please.
Oh, you know it.
Man, what a shitty thing to hear if you're Firewalk.
Yep.
Like, yeah, Sony's really gonna focus on supporting to make this one work.
Yeah.
That's
And like
really
as they're cocking the gun back.
that's
And also, how about we
terrible.
go buy that shed? You know, it's like
a principal calling a kid into their office to suspend them,
Yeah.
and then immediately walking out with them to a cupcake party for another student.
It's like you're a bear in the woods and you see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You know, it's like, something bad's about to happen.
Oh boy.
Why is this trunk empty? Listen, jokes aside, I needed a good laugh. I think, again, at the end of the day, this has been a disastrous life lesson for PlayStation. My heart goes to the developers, and I hope I wasn't overly critical or sounding like a dick. But I mean, I loved your game.
Yeah,
I did, despite even me thinking spoon people and pudding women. I loved it. I loved it. My final question to you, Kyle: Do I keep the physical copy?
Yes.
Do I give it to do I give it to GameStop where they will exchange it for a Balatro physical edition?
No, you keep it.
Okay, it's history.
It is an important history piece, whether it's worth money in the future or not.
Right.
It's like, to me, this is a huge turning point into what PlayStation is going to be in the very near future. And
Yarden says frame it.
yeah, like, I'm not against, like, it is super important.
Someone said, "Hey, do the frame the game." Like they tagged them in my post, and they're like, "How about don't?" They themselves literally said their official Twitter, "Don't do that." So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with Lamchat. You could just send it to me. I am the physical media person. You can. I'll put it on my shelf.
That's true. And it goes to speak to, at the end of the day as well, like physical media, digital. If they wanted to pull something, they just get to pull it. Doesn't matter. Like this disc is useless.
Mm-hmm.
It's useless. Not like they get to just pull it. I don't get to play it. That sucks. All right, Kyle, let's get to the next bullet point on the list. And this is going to make us laugh real big.
Am I in a Twilight Zone episode this week?
I think you are, buddy.
Sarmina Khan from PS Lifestyle writes in, Sony doesn't have enough original IP, says company leadership. Sony leadership reckons that the company doesn't have enough original IP, including in its PlayStation division. The group is making a quote-unquote multi-billion-dollar investment into creating original content in a bid to widen its share of the entertainment industry, and in an interview with Financial Times, expressed its desire to quote-unquote foster new IP from the beginning. Quote, whether it's for games, films, or anime, we don't have that much IP that we fostered from the beginning, Sony CFO Hiroki Totoki told Financial Times. We're lacking the early phase of IP, and that's an issue for us, end quote. Totoki added that Sony as a whole has been better at finding new audiences for existing popular IPs, and thinks that the company won't grow without creating content from scratch for higher returns. While new IP is certainly welcome, these comments are a little puzzling when it comes to PlayStation because the company has numerous game franchises that it fostered from the beginning or could have, but they have since been abandoned. Look no further than the feature image above for some hints. Heck, one of the PlayStation's biggest new hits from the PS4 era, Bloodborne, has been pretty much left to die. At least that's what it looks like right now. Meanwhile, games like Until Dawn get another lease of life in form of a remake, and we're not quite sure who asked for that.
Stop remaking and remastering and put those teams on smaller games and make them thrive. Or let them thrive. Seriously. You're right. Like, real talk, Kyle. I didn't ask for the Until Dawn remake.
Sure. Yeah, no. Yeah, I get it.
I didn't ask for, like, they didn't ask to lose their jobs a month before the game came out.
Agreed.
Why not make an Until Dawn 2? Why not go out there, do something different, a smaller game? An initial, hey, is this interesting to you guys concept game? I don't know, like a Ghost of Tsushima. I'm about to say the C word under my shirt, Kyle. What Hiroki Totoki, just because your name rhymes and I like saying it, doesn't mean you have to show up in the news and say literally the dumbest shit. ever.
I when I saw this, I was like, is this real? Are we really lumping games into this? Because I don't know exactly where you're like, yes, smaller things are totally fine. Go ahead. I see you're gonna
Cooper's right.
Your mic cut off that, but you said Sly Cooper's right there.
Sly Cooper is right there. He's a little raccoon man. He's perfect for the youngins. Are you kidding me? Jack and goddamn Daxter, you had Crash and Spyro, and you're like, man, sell them. Twisted Metal, what the fuck are you doing with that?
We got a TV show.
Oh, Hiroki. Don't come by here again, man.
I think
anything you want to add on what has been one of the dumbest things to say out loud after 2 weeks after the biggest dud you've ever come out with, which was a original IP. Come on.
I think I'm trying to find the right wording for this. I feel Jones chose the correct decision to stand today. Stingray says in chat.
Mr. Popo said they never had Crash or Spyro, Joe. They were owned by someone else. Why didn't you buy them? They were you put them on your console. You know? I get it. It was like Warner's, right? It was something like that.
Oh, Crash Activision.
What? No. I know they. Something happened. I'm too angry to think about it.
Sure. I think this is dumb for different reasons than you do. While I agree, there are IPs just sitting there, not being done anything with. We legit. I'm looking behind you. I see Last of Us. I see Ghost of Tsushima. We had Days Gone. We had Returnal. Like, they are still fostering new IP in the games division. And like, I don't understand. Yeah, The Order. I just don't understand where this is coming from.
The Order 1886. My first platinum. I love this game. I understand it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you... what is it? Ready at Dawn? Why couldn't you pick them up?
Yeah.
They were a great little studio making you awesome PSP games. And they were making a sequel to this. And you were just like, go to meta.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Hiroki, but sometimes it's on you. Okay?
Yeah. Like, let's... I'm gonna put out a challenge right now to you, Mr. Hiroki Totoki. I swear to God. Look at me right now. I swear to God. If you don't go and buy the Kana developer right now...
Ninja Spirits has been right there this entire time.
I'm letting you know right now. That's a huge missed opportunity. Just saying. Even though, yes, consolidation sucks. Don't want it to happen. I don't want that team to
one better.
Yeah.
Hiroki Totoki, name a game. Just anyone. What's one of those? What's one of the standing IP that you have? Go on.
Oh man.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. No. Standing was a decision. I've chosen anger, and it's the only way of. I have to walk away from this mic. All right, Kyle. Let's talk about the next.
Just really quickly.
Story. Yes.
I feel like this should have been more aimed towards the movie department. Because how many other Spider-Man villain spinoffs are we getting?
Holy shit.
Like, what are we doing there?
And if I have to see Kraven one more time...
Not even just that. If I have to see a non-MCU version of these villains, because now they'll never show up in the MCU, because Sony's using them, it fucking drives me nuts. Anyways, Until Dawn remake studio Ballistic Moon lays off staff ahead of the game's release in October. This comes from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer. Ballistic Moon has now acknowledged the redundancies previously reported by staff earlier this week. Quote, as the games industry continues to face complex challenges, we at Ballistic Moon are confronted with some difficult realities, reads a statement posted to LinkedIn. It is with deep regret and a heavy heart that we must make the tough decision to significantly scale down our team to secure the future of our studio. This comes after our development of Until Dawn for PS5 and PC. We want to express our sincere gratitude to every team member for their hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment to Ballistic Moon. Saying goodbye to such a talented and passionate group of people is incredibly difficult, and we're profoundly sorry for the impact this restructuring will have on our employees and their families. As we navigate this transition, Ballistic Moon remains focused on supporting the launch of Until Dawn and is committed to exploring new opportunities and collaborations for the future. This week has already seen further layoffs reported, including at Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League studio Rocksteady. It is yet to formally acknowledge the redundancies, despite staff sharing on social media that they are now out of a job. Until Dawn remake developer Ballistic Moon has laid off an unspecified number of employees ahead of the game's release on October 4th.
We don't know how many.
Nope.
It could be as little as 4, or it could be a couple more than that.
Yep.
Something tells me that this may have something to do with the PlayStation game that they were making. I know it's like another horror thing that they were doing. Maybe that hasn't gone right. Maybe it's been canceled. Maybe it's part of the team that literally made this game. We don't know.
Sure.
It sucks.
Yep.
It sucks to see Rocksteady being canned off of decisions that were not their own. Sucks all around. It's you can't even make a game anymore before a game launches and you're laying off folks.
I just really hate how the hardworking people that are in the trenches, sacrificing their time, doing the hard work, are then also on the other end of bad upper management CEO decisions, and it's their livelihood that gets affected. And not the ones who are like, hey, go do this stupid thing. That is what really makes me mad about this whole thing.
Yep. Bummer. A big, huge bummer. My thoughts, my prayers go to everyone affected. It's been a really, listen, gang, as we've been hooting and hollering for the last hour, it's been a really rough week in the gaming field, especially those who are trying to take risks, especially those who are trying to get something new off the ground. It really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, again, sometimes it doesn't go right and you fall and, you get a Concord where just because you make the game doesn't mean it's a success. Right? Doesn't mean that you're not immune to the criticism that may be. And whether you're a studio like Ballistic Moon, who, you separate from your old company and make something that you're passionate about, take this opportunity thinking it's going to be something quite possibly big for your crew, and it's just not enough. PlayStation's in a really, really, really interesting year. A very transformative moment, I think. The next few weeks are telling. Because I think the PlayStation community has seen a whole lot of silence. I think they've been patient enough for not just a roadmap, but even with the live service initiative. And the audience has told you we don't want these games, right? We want what PlayStation is known for. You take a look at Rocksteady, same thing. The audience says that they don't want a Suicide Squad game. They want something that Rocksteady's good at, right? That they know them for.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks that this studio, Ballistic Moon, may have gotten that opportunity to introduce themselves taken away.
And just to include in that, because Heat in chat reminds me as well. Oka Studios, the Visions of Mana developer, which just came out last week, had pretty much almost the entire studio shut down and laid off pretty much everyone except for a few folks to make sure the rollout of that game is going okay. Like it shocks me. It really does shock me.
So one last question. And guys, again, if you have, because I know we have quite a bit of people in the chat, if you do have a question you want us to answer, hit us with a super chat, any amount. just to get them highlighted so we bring them up, so I don't miss them. So this comes from John Weismer in the live chat. Because games like this are failing, does this mean that gaming is going to crash? Because it just seems like more newer games are failing, that people aren't buying it anymore. No. So as we say all this, I also have to say the AAA space is changing. And what game we used to say this on the trophy room quite a bit. We would like games to explore the scale. We're now seeing companies explore the scale, right? Can we get away with a PvP game that's $40? Apparently not. Can a PvE co-op game get away with $40? Apparently kind of, right? When you take a look at, like, because I've seen people also bring this up, like, well, you can't say $40 was the thing that killed Concord because people bought Helldivers. I would argue, name a game that's like Helldivers, and then we can have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I can name 3 games that are like Concord that the barrier to entry is $0. I can't name that for Helldivers, right?
How about the Starship Troopers game that's coming out soon, which I feel so terrible about?
One other game, right? And trust me, you will see people inspired by Helldivers going, and we're going to do the same. We're going to make our own, right? But until then, you're seeing developers go, hey, how much can I get with this game? How much can I get for... You're going to see 2K go, how much can we get away with charging people for Grand Theft Auto? You're going to see that, right? They're exploring that scale. And that just means when it comes to newer games, like, look at Astrobot. I think Astrobot's a really good example. Astrobot's not a $70 game. It's a $60 game, right? It's a smaller game. It's a family-oriented game. They want everybody and their mother to buy it. That is what they think is a deemable purchase. The other side, Until Dawn, also $60, but then you get the Silent Hill remake, $70. So, like, you're seeing companies go, okay, how much can I price for game X, Y, and Z? And I think you're going to see more of that as we go into the future, because something has to give in terms of AAA gaming. So I don't think we're at like a breaking point, like it's going to crash, but we're at this precipice of what does a premium game look and cost in the future? God, I sounded smart there. Give me a high five, Kyle. We did it. It was great. All right, listen.
I also just to add to that, I feel like most people are afraid to try new things. And I think they've been trained for a little bit of, like, anything that is slightly off from what they like to play, they just kind of dismiss immediately.
Yeah.
Which sucks, because that is, like, most of the general public buying games. And that is a big reason why a lot of these experimental kind of things don't pan out fully, because it's not what they're used to. And
I mean, it also comes down to inflation, corporate greed, whatever you want to call it. I'd like to call it that. The Kroger CEO would like to call it that too, under oath. Money's tight. And so people don't have I'm just going to go spend $70 on anything. You have a new generation of gamers that are used to spending $0 for things, but are used to spending $20 for skins. Right. So it really is about getting used to the new norm in games, or finding it, rather.
To go back to my point I just brought up, it's one of my least favorite moments in any piece of content I've ever done. We were live reacting to the Square Enix show at E3, and Guardians of the Galaxy was being shown, and you and Sean were laughing at it and barely giving it a shot. And that pissed me off, and I got mad on that live react, and I lashed out a little bit, because it's like those moments, and you very rightfully so realize you were wrong, because that game's awesome. It's those moments that are just so common for other people, where they see something and it's not up to what their favorite thing is, and they immediately dismiss it without giving it a shot, and that's very detrimental. But I don't have an answer of how to fix it either.
Yeah,
because everyone's an individual and they got their own thing. So
Mr. Popo writes, it just feels like this era of gaming feels off. It does.
I would argue the last 4 years seem off because of COVID.
Right.
I feel like we had a hard reset, and we've never had a hard reset in our lifetimes. At least I feel like in our adult lifetimes, and we're still trying to deal with it. And I don't know whenever we get to a point where it feels sort of quote unquote normal.
Yeah. With that said, dear audio listeners, you've been patient. You've been hearing me and Kyle yell at the ceiling. Maybe you're also yelling with us or at us in your cars. It's time. Let's get cheery. Let's get optimistic. Let's talk about Astrobot. Not you, video. No, I don't want to get Matt in trouble, guys.
No, we can't do
tomorrow.
It here. Yeah.
8 a.m. or as of like you're probably watching.
I don't even know. I was working. I don't even know what you guys talked about. So
well, it was a 15 minutes long conversation.
Okay.
All right, now I'm gonna make a long, subtle silence followed by an outrageous comment. Ready? I can't believe they gave Astrobot a gun.
I can't believe they put Phil Spencer in Astrobot form.
Wow.
That crossover is really generational. It's crazy. Yeah.
I can't believe the Phil Spencer bot, his special move is empty promises. And wait for it. His second maneuver, under delivering.
I can't believe Matt also spoiled that crazy Easter egg of Jim Ryan in a dumpster.
Yeah, and it was on fire.
That's crazy.
Wow. At least he had his cats with him. Cats were not harmed. All right, Kyle. It's time for some flashes.
I hit the mic. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. It's okay. It's all right. It's time for a Space Marine 2 review roundup. Kyle, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll take
review
the first
by
one.
review.
Yeah.
I go for it.
But why, though, gave Space Marine 2 a 90. Considering the entire package, Space Marine 2 sets a new high bar for Warhammer 40k games. It showcases the setting with more intricacy and beauty than ever in its most successful kin. Its gameplay is extremely rewarding and uniquely engaging. It has been a long wait for Space Marine 2, but the Emperor is good, and the wait has proven more than worth it.
Ooh wee. Games Radar gave it an 80. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 is in an exceptional, larger-than-life shooter that raises the bar for the Warhammer adaptations. A dizzying sense of scale, along with some of the slickest combat around, will leave you often breathless, but always grinning.
And IGN gave it an 80. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 may not break the third-person shooter mold, but it looks amazing, makes good use of its Warhammer lore, and has brutal combat that just feels great.
Overall, at this very point in time, with 48 critics reviewed, Space Marine 2 lands at an 85 top average over at OpenCritic.
Love to see it.
Hey, speaking of, I almost forgot, Kyle.
Yeah.
We had an Astrobot giveaway. Would you like to know who won?
Absolutely.
They're in this chat right now.
No, they're not.
Uh-huh. Just take a guess. Just take a gander.
Okay. I'm gonna scroll through. I'm gonna take a guess.
Okay.
Their
name is
Dwani.
Ooh, close. Stingray X. Congratulations. You won a digital deluxe version. Oh my goodness, I almost broke the TV of Astrobot Deluxe Edition. As I was leaning my whole body on this like what is this cabinet thing, and it went, no, too fat. I was like, okay.
Congrats,
right.
Stingray.
I'm reminded. Yeah, congrats, Stingray. Congrats. Please
make
message
sure
me after the show.
DM Joe. He'll get all your info, and we'll get you that.
We'll get you that ASAP.
Yeah. Hey, this is cool for Space Marine, though.
Yeah, it's cool for Space
you
Marine.
You played the first one. I didn't play the first one, so.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm
very,
excited.
very exciting.
Are you gonna be playing it? You jumping in?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. It's maybe a holiday game for me. I didn't play the first one. Like, I don't know. Do I need to know the lore?
Who cares? You're, who cares, man? I don't even know I don't know Warhammer from my elbow. I just know that the orcs are mushroom people like Lurk, but they actually look appealing.
How dare you?
And they're spores or something.
All right.
And then there's like a Necronomicon looking dudes.
Sure.
You're just beating the shit out of people with a chainsaw sword. Like,
All
do you
right.
need anything else? Yeah. So yeah, no, day one, can't wait. You'll hear my impressions next episode. That said, Kyle, have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
No.
Destiny mobile game, Destiny Rising, in development by Bungie and NetEase, tis claimed by Destiny Bulletin on Twitter. And Jeff Grubb has reiterated, saying that the game does also indeed exist, by saying, yeah, this is real. Not a lot of people from Bungie working on it. It could get announced soon. When asked another user if he knew much about the game, he replied, it's going to be Destiny on mobile, but with a lot of changes. Hero characters instead of building your own character, for example. Okay. They need any source of revenue that they can get at this point.
Can I also use this to rant about another mobile game
Please,
that makes me so incredibly angry? Again, this is a sports game thing, so
okay.
I know it's not everyone's jam. Back in the day, there was a Madden, and then there was an NFL 2K. NFL 2K, with Terrell Owens on the cover, is the best football game ever made, in my opinion.
Fair.
We've been wanting it forever, but NFL wouldn't give them the license and just kept it for EA.
Oh.
So tell me why I'm scrolling through TikTok and I'm getting ads for NFL 2K on mobile made by 2K, but it's only a mobile game and it's licensed? How effing dare you?
Yeah.
That makes me so angry that it is a mobile game and not an actual full console game, because those games
I just love how angry we are tonight.
Oh man,
I love that about us. Black Myth Wukong delay not due to platform limitations raised by Xbox. This comes from Jordan Middler at VGC, and you know what? I don't feel like it today.
Yeah.
Guess what? Paul Tassi said he had a source that said, no, it's not because of the Series S. It's because someone told me there's a deal between Sony and this developer. And then, it turns out that source is Xbox. And it's the same quote used from 6 weeks ago. This is not a story.
It's not. Hey, can we move on real quick? I have a story that we need to add Flash News right now.
Please. Yeah, is it good?
Oh my god, this is happy news.
Okay, good. All right.
It happened after we recorded last week. From Remedy Games, we are partnering with Annapurna to co-finance Control 2. We hope you're as excited about what this means for our creative output and ongoing independence as we are. We are also happy to announce that Annapurna will work with us on expanding the Control and Alan Wake franchises into film and TV. Are you kidding me? This is what my dreams are made out of.
The whole hour and 28 minutes of us yelling was just made from this.
I'm so happy.
Take the floor. Take the floor. I've been hogging it.
Are you telling me not only is Control 2 getting co-financed with Annapurna makes nothing but bangers in my eyes. That makes me super happy that we're going to see that sooner rather than later, because they're going to get the funding that they need to make it what it is. Just imagine a Control 2 that looks and plays like Alan Wake 2. Are you kidding me? But then just to say we're going to get other adaptations in film and TV for these two amazing worlds of Control and the is it FBC? Yeah, the FBC, the oldest house. We get Alan Wake either in weekly episodic format like the game did, or like a full-on movie.
And they're gonna interact with the game. They're gonna do some weird shit.
I have chills.
Dude.
I like Quantum Break ran or walks so these two can run. I'm so excited for this. I have no idea when we're gonna get them because they're doing the Max Payne remakes as well. Did they finally? I forgot if this was like said recently, but the Control multiplayer project, is that still on track somewhere? Or
They
did they
kind
shelve
of.
it, kind of, sort of? I don't
There's
remember.
still one, but their live service game is no more.
Sure, yeah. But
Yeah.
this just makes me happy that people see value in what Remedy does, and they want to make sure that they can make the games and the vision that they have set forth, and I'm over the moon excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. Cast Keanu as Alan.
Oh
You know what?
my god.
Wouldn't hate that, but you have the actors right there. Now I know Alan is, what is he? Swedish? The physical
Yes.
actor of Alan, right? But man, I would love if they put Matt's voice over him.
Oh my god, that'd be really funny.
I would fucking lose it. I'm
it
sorry
blew,
I didn't believe. But...
It blew my mind just because like Control is my first Remedy game.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this until way later. That Dr. Casper in Control is Alan's voice.
Yep.
And that never clicked for me until it was way too late. But God, it's so cool. The one with 10 cent cool. Is canceled. Thank you, Mr. Popo.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, no, this is so exciting. Again, taking risks, even when, listen, commercially it looks like Alan Wake still didn't pay off for Epic. It paid off for Remedy, and that's all that really matters.
All that matters. I will be a very sad boy if Remedy is no longer able to make any more games. Oof. And I'm a new fan. I'm straight up. I am a new fan since Control. But man, they are the best in the business. I can't wait for their second DLC. Have you played the first DLC yet?
No, still not yet.
It's so good.
Balatro, remember?
I know, but this is so... God, an Alan Wake deck in Balatro? What are we doing? Local Funk, call them up. Let's go. Make all the aces Sam Lake, or all the kings Sam Lake or something.
Oh my... Yo.
Or a Sam Lake Joker.
Okay. Let's clip this out for the socials.
Local Funk.
Please. Get Sam Lake on the phone. Y'all need to talk about some Balatro crossover, okay? Maybe Alan. Who knows? Maybe Jesse Faden. Who knows? Just do it. Maybe like the cards speak to you. I don't know. You're the dev. You're the creative one. I'm just.
Why am I blanking on the other protagonist in Alan Wake 2?
Ooh.
What is her name? Why am I blanking?
Oh my god, why am I blanking on it too? Oh my god, is it Freya? I know it's something.
What is happening to my brain?
Viking related.
Wait.
COVID fog. That's what I always do.
I hate myself right now. Saga, thank you, Cinderella.
Saga, thank you, Jesus Christ. One of our favorite games of all time. We're like, who's the main character that we love?
The thing is, like, I saw her perfectly. I saw her in her mind palace. I saw her doing the board. I saw her petting the mare. Like,
Ooh, hey Kyle. The PlayStation Plus Essentials are out.
Cool.
Quidditch Champions, MLB The Show 24, Little Nightmares 2. All right.
Hey, guess what? I had to cancel my subscription yesterday.
Hell yeah.
I don't have the funds when it renews in 2 days.
What? But, it's fine. You don't really use multiplayer stuff all too often.
Joe, I'm going to have to buy Plucky Squire on its own because I won't have PS Plus and stuff. It's not the end of the world.
We'll figure it out. But... Hey, Kyle, what you been playing this week, bud?
I 100% in Crypt Custodian. One of my favorite games of the year by far.
Ooh.
It made me an emotional little boy. But the gameplay was super fun. The story is great. The backtracking is so well done in a Metroidvania. It's a good, great time. So please, if you like Metroidvanias, please pick it up and play it. It's well worth your time. The other game is Vampire Survivors on PlayStation. Boy, oh boy, I feel so dumb. I'm going to tell you why right now.
Tell me.
I never noticed the option that you can click on that shows you where everything is on the map. Like the pickups and stuff. When I was playing before, I was just wandering and I hope I ran into something.
Well, you unlock that ability through just going through the game. There's like a little, I think what they call them, sigils. And like that ability is unlocked midway through the game. So don't feel dumb. That's good done.
Sure, but like and finally seeing like what to level up to evolve into
Okay.
like the new really fun things. And yes, still can I 100%ed everything except for
Oh,
the S rank bosses in Crypt Custodian because those things are hard.
okay. Did you get the plat in
No,
Crypt?
you have
Oh,
to do all the S rank and bosses,
oh
which
okay.
is essentially not getting hit and beating them super fast, and I can't do
Oof.
that.
Yeah, no
Um,
thanks.
but yeah, and see, Stingray didn't know. Yeah, there's an option once you get to a point you can um select like show map, and
Mm.
it will tell you like there are upgrades just in the map itself in every level that you can just get instead of having to worry about leveling up. You can see where all like the hidden characters are. It points you in the direction, and I never knew that because I was just wandering around when I was playing like on Xbox or my phone and whatnot. Um, this game's so good when you have the right combination of the garlic evolves soul eater, whatever it's called, the Bibles, the boomerang that turns into a sword and
It's
just going all over the place. Oh my god.
it's one of those games that when just like a Balatro situation where it's like people are like, I don't play poker. It's like it's not really that. Just have fun.
No. Yeah.
And buy this game. Vampire Survivors is like the perfect aspects of like what a roguelite is, which is like based on RNG and adapting to the RNG on the fly, and then mixed with like a reverse bullet hell. Well, where things are coming to you and all you're doing is maneuvering in and out of the way or towards them, depending on the abilities that you have. And it's about how to get to 30, how to survive 30 minutes with all this chaos happening on screen, uh, you know, to survive the round. And it gets really smart and intricate with its evolutions, with its unlocks, with how it plays with its own systems. It's a brilliant game, man. I
Mm-hmm.
I love Vampire Survivors. And just midway playing it on PS5 right now, it's like less than $5.
Yep.
And so I went and bought all the DLC. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a buck or two.
Yep.
It respects your time and it respects your money, and
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, man.
Just like being able to just like refund all your upgrades at any point and there's no negative of it all and you could respec at any point is just really cool. And there's
Yeah.
so much there. There's so
Oh
many
yeah.
new characters, there's so many new weapons, there's so many new things. I'll say the one thing I hate about Vampire Survivors on
Mm,
PlayStation, I
mm.
do not like how the trophies are laid out.
How so?
I don't like how there's 10 different sections, each with
Fair.
like 8 trophies in it in each, but they all count towards the overall thing.
Mm,
I just don't like it. And also, I don't
okay.
know if you've noticed, there are multiple trophies that have the same description,
Is it
but they're for
really?
different
No, I haven't
things.
noticed.
There's a couple I caught where it's like they both said upgrade Bible to the best max level, but that's in multiple different spots, but they don't
Oh,
correspond to the trophy. Maybe it's not the Bible one, but there is one where I'm like, that's weird.
right. Yeah. No, I didn't I haven't noticed that. I do notice that there's over 200 trophies, all a lot of them in separate lists, so you don't
Yes.
have to
Yes.
um get them all to get the plat,
No, you
but
do.
not all of them.
Yeah, you do.
Like
That
the DLC trophies?
you have to 100% all of those to get the platinum.
I don't think so.
The main one, when you
Yeah.
click on the trophies, it is then separated into those categories.
Yeah.
You have to get all of them to then unlock the platinum, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I think that category has the plat because it's just like Sea of Thieves. There is a list of like 100+ trophies that don't involve a platinum. You only have to get the ones that have the platinum section or cataloged.
I don't know about that.
All right, fair enough.
I'm probably
Uh,
wrong, but you know what? I'm gonna look it up anyway.
yeah, fair enough. Also, one more bit of little like um, flash news that I didn't put in here. Uh, Star Wars Outlaws and X Defiant Disappointments pour pain on Ubisoft's share prices, nearing a 10-year low. This comes from Sammy Barker. I just wanted to add this in because it seemed like, oh, the sales of Outlaws was soft. It's just the review scores they thought were going to be higher. And a 77 is not good enough, apparently. I don't know. But yeah, Just to throw that in there. So anyway, been playing a little Vampire Survivors, and then also, Kyle, speaking of multiplayer games, I've been playing Black Ops 6 beta, and I got thoughts.
What a
This
basic bitch.
Whoa. No, Black Ops is gonna be one of the most divisive Call of Duties. Because I think it changes the formula drastically, and I don't know if it's for the better yet. Essentially, the Omni movement and the speed in which you move make it so that, man, if you have one of those tryhards, that skill-based matchmaking is gonna get a workout, because it's either you're winning fairly well or you're just getting mollywopped from what I've seen and from what I've experienced. The time to kill, the TTK, Kyle, if you don't know, has been lowered from 150 to just straight up 100, so it's a lot faster to die. Ooh, I'm a little bit in a mixed bag at the moment. I just feel like there's not a chance. If I get shot in the back, there's just not enough chance for me to dive around and shoot them back. I think Omni movement's really, really unique. It's just the maps are too small and the players are too fast. And when I'm playing a game like, again, like a simple, team deathmatch, the spawns are all over the place and I'm just getting shot in the back and it's just not feeling fun. Domination as well. Just the spawns constantly flipping. It was very chaotic, and I couldn't say that I was enjoying a lot of my time, but when it clicked, and I was really enjoying myself. But it just seems like at this very point in time, played about like an hour, no, 2 to 3 hours actually, of the beta thus far. I'm gonna need to play it a little bit more before I get an honest thoughts in it, because I think the Omni movement is great in theory, and it's great in theory. It's moving a little bit too fast for me. And maybe I'm starting to become a boomer, but it seems like where, the jumping and wall running was like the fad for the Advanced Warfare and Future Warfare games. I feel like this might be something that is adopted for the next 2, maybe 3 years, and then they're going to turn the clocks back and go, you know what? Call of Duty is going to be a little slower paced, because I don't know. Usually I like the fast movement of like Modern Warfare 2, 2 years ago, but even for me, who enjoys fast ADHD gameplay, I was having trouble clicking with it, and that kind of bummed me out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, the map's way too small. Way too small. Mr. Popo agrees. And Ryan Champion, thank goodness. Okay, I'm not alone. Don't feel crazy. Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. All right, Kyle, listen, I didn't prepare this.
I got this up and ready if you want me to take it.
Oh, yeah, go for it, please.
On September 3rd, the casting of Frank Stone comes to PS5. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, PS5 on the 3rd. Parcel Core on PS5 on the 3rd. Let's Play Oink Games, PlayStation 5 on September 4th. Paper Ghost Stories 3rd Eye Open on September 5th. Shogun Showdown, September 5th. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection on September 6th. NBA 2K25 on September 6th. First year, I think I'm not buying NBA, which is wild.
Oh.
It's a wild thought.
Okay.
Sunsoft is back. Retro Game Selection on the 6th. Astrobot, little known game. I don't know if you've heard about it. September 6th. And Arrow the Acrobat 2, also on September 6th. Oh, and Perennial Order.
Nice.
6th, but it's Astrobot.
Thank you.
It's Astrobot.
Again, this week I was a little busy. So thank you, Kyle, for filling in. All right, Kyle. Are you ready? For the last segment of the show, but our favorite segment, it's the time for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw! No.
Oh,
No.
What
What had just happened?
It's getting really hot in this room. It's getting really hot.
I know, my fan broke yesterday.
Because of all my anger.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Ghettoberry writes in, hey guys, which of the following would you consider the official mascot of PlayStation? Is it Astrobot, Sackboy, Ape from Ape Escape, or others. Take care, guys. Stay demure. Stay mindful. How dare you?
You got him. Oh, me and Silken, we're gonna stay young and youthful, dude. God, we're feeling so
I
brat
feel
lately.
it's gotta be Astro, right?
For the moment, yes. I would say Astro is a good mascot, family-friendly mascot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But non-family friendly. Who do you think? Aloy?
Still Kratos. I think we had a similar question. I think Kratos
Fair.
is the mascot for PlayStation.
Fair.
Yeah. Like Mario is Nintendo, Master Chief Xbox, we got Kratos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Arguably the cooler one.
Still Cannon writes in, hello gents, Astrobot question, or more in my opinion. I think I pinpointed my concern. Don't know any other word, but I put quotes because it's really not that bad or deep. And it comes down to the use of nostalgia to sell the game. I think if it had released last year after Spider-Man 2, it would have come across to me as, quote, we are celebrating our franchises, look at these beauties, end quote. I read that and I instantly thought of like Little Mermaid, like, look at these things, aren't they neat? In 2025, it feels like, quote, hey, please remember we can make good games, please stay with us, end quote. Overall, I wish they had focused more on the platform mechanics and showing it off more than 15,000 Easter eggs to find.
Listen.
I mean, you heard the discussion already, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
I will say,
go for it.
I wasn't part of the discussion with you and Matt, so I don't know.
Okay.
But the last trailer that they dropped got me so hyped because, like, they confirmed in that one that, yeah, you're going to be able to use the Leviathan axe. Like, Astrobot will be able to get the axe and use it. Like, you should. And it's more than just, oh, cool, there's Kratos. But you actually get to use the items, and I hope that there are more of that happens in the game with other iconic maybe weaponry or characters. It's more than just like, hey, they're here.
I told you they gave him a gun.
Which gun though?
Glock 17.
Yeah.
Fine, you can shoot underwater or whatever. Yeah.
But I understand where Soul Cannon's coming from, where they're leaning maybe a little too heavily on look at all those cool things that we're known for, kind of thing. I get that.
Yeah. So I will say I don't think you have anything to worry about, friend. But I also think PlayStation now more than ever needs to show you a showcase level event.
Oh yeah, they do.
Because they done guffed in a big way, and they really need to make us forget about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black Wyver writes in, hope you guys are doing well. Question for the show. Which PlayStation franchise is the most overrated franchise in your opinion?
Overrated? Oh my goodness.
Trying to make me pick against all my favorite children?
I know. Let me see. Most overrated.
Man. God, I'm going to say something and I'm going to hate myself for saying it.
Okay, go for it.
I think Soul Cannon's right. I think it's Uncharted.
What?
I think it is.
I think you need to leave. You kidding? Uncharted? Okay.
I love Uncharted. They mean the world to me. Some of my favorite games of all time. It was either that one or Spider-Man. But like, still kind of get in chat. It says it like Tomb Raider did it as well. Like it's not like a unique concept, kind of thing.
I don't know, man. It's really hard. I love them all. How do I pick my favorite?
To answer the question, I'm gonna say Uncharted, but that's like saying there's still an S tier franchise that I love so deeply.
So bear with me here, Kyle. And Jiminy. Which Jiminy? Okay, I'll be honest. Before the show, you're like, Kyle, Joe. I sometimes think Jiminy annoys you more. Last 5 minutes, I think Jiminy needs that. We need to find him and eradicate him.
See, I've tuned him out. I
um,
can't hear him.
no, I'm hearing a little chirpy chirp. It's driving me mad.
Just think I'm with him all day.
I know, dude. I couldn't. And again, for new listeners, they're like, "Why is there a crick in the back?" We've been trying to find the son of a gun for 6 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of August and the beginning of September, Jiminy shows up. He's like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. I'm an annoying son of a bitch." And it's like,
I am not kidding with anybody when I say this. When I have a moment of free time and I've let it like get to me, I legit stand up. I yell, "All right, enough!" And then I walk around and I stop. I wait to hear the chirp, and then I echolocate and I go, but I can never find him. I don't know where he is.
I don't know where he is. But again, in a week or two, he's gonna be dead.
Exactly. It's gonna be too cold.
We're dealing with Jiminy the 102nd. You know,
1 million, probably the 1,000th at this point.
Yeah, probably.
I should show you at the end of this time period the traps and how full they are.
Oh my god, yes.
It's legit like 200 crickets per trap, and there's like 8 of them around the space.
What if this is their sacrifice? Like they see the traps and they're like, "We must make a sacrifice to the big man." Big bearded god.
As long as they don't A Bug's Life it and come after me and try to get rid of the order that we have
or
going
Woody
on.
Allen's ants.
Let's not ever talk about that.
All right. You know, best not to bring up Woody Allen anyway.
Yeah.
Especially the fact that my father's hometown in Spain has a mural or like a statue in Woody Allen's honor. And we're talking, this is when I was there, 2016, and we knew enough. And they were like, "Nah, I think we'll keep it. I think I should ask him.
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. Just like a small old man statue overseas in a foreign country. I don't understand why that's so funny to me.
A Jewish guy from Brooklyn in Oviedo, Spain. No one spoke a lick of English when I was over there, unless they were playing an elaborate ruse.
Hey, where should we meet up? Is there any landmark I should look out for in case so I don't get lost?
I don't know, maybe the 98th bakery we just walked past. Oh, no. The Woody Allen statue?
Yeah, that's it.
The guy that done nothing wrong? Him?
I'll remember to look out for that one. I won't forget that.
I feel like there's an island that would have that shrine, but not, you know.
One, yes, absolutely there is.
Boy, oh boy. All right, what were I talking about? Right.
I believe that statue was transported on a certain jet.
Yeah. What jet? Is it in Pennsylvania as we speak? So, Kyle.
Yes.
I'm going to say my hard pivot back to PlayStation. We made this show because of her. But Horizon doesn't need all these spin-offs. Call of the Mountain, the Lego game. I would say if I had to, and you're really twisting my arm, it would be Horizon. It's the most overrated.
Are you nuts?
I'm just saying. Would you rather have the climbing Horizon game or an axe throwing Kratos game in VR?
The climbing game.
Okay. It's a choice that I disagree with it, but we don't have enough time to argue about this.
Would I rather have the feeling that I'm doing something
You spent it on the Woody Allen conversation.
Would I rather spend my time in VR feeling like I'm doing something super athletic by climbing a mountain, or me sitting on my couch doing this motion of, ha! Just throw something.
But then you call it back. Like, you have to swing your hand backward to catch it? Come on. And you get a little voop from the VR?
No.
All right, fair enough. You read the next question while I try to find my father to ask him if they still have that statue.
Stone Cold ET writes in, "Hi guys, question for the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw! Lately, I found myself less interested in games I used to enjoy, such as Souls-likes, and more interested in games I used to not enjoy, like Diablo-style ARPGs, and crafting exploring games like No Man's Sky. I was wondering if you guys have ever gone through quote-unquote gaming phases, where the types of games you enjoy change over time. Hope you are having a great week.
He's indisposed. He's taking the dog out.
Okay.
Yes,
I go through those phases all the time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the mood for an open world game, so like I'm still lost in Outlaws, right? Um, I'm in the mood for a From Software game, so I'll try to venture out somewhere else, but I'll always come back to From. I'll always go back to Bloodborne or Elden Ring, you know.
Yeah,
But like in terms of like,
it's a normal thing of
yeah,
like not enjoying games. Like as much as I love RPGs, I can't play every RPG that comes out just because I don't have that bandwidth. So I go through phases where I'm really itching and loving it and want to play them all the time, but then those will go away and I won't touch an RPG for like a year.
Yeah. Keep on talking. I think I heard him.
Okay. Mr. Probo, yes, we did not mention it. Excuse me. But yeah, Sony apparently has GTA 6 marketing rights to showcase the Pro. That's kind of fun, I guess. Nisa writes, playing a bunch of different games, but brain tired, so Dreamlight Valley is still all I can handle right now. Exactly. There's a reason why, at the end of every year here on the show, we sit down and we go through my year in PlayStation, and we get to the point where we say what our top most played game is, and for me, it's always going to be MLB The Show, because most of the time, that's literally all I can handle mentally. Oh no. Oh no. Joe is back, audio listeners, from asking his dad about the Woody Allen statue, and he's dying laughing. So we definitely got an answer, or he just cursed him out then.
I go, come on. I want to come to my mother, right? And I go, she's knocking on the door with my dad, right? He's in the bathroom. He's indisposed. I go to her, hey, Ma, do they still have the statue in Oviedo? And she goes, yeah. And she does a little shrug. She does a little, it's like a painful, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes, she follows it up with, do you think they know? And it was meant so earnestly and painfully. So you think they know? Like word didn't go around.
Oh my god. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
My goodness gracious. You think they know?
That's like the same energy of like my mom sometimes when we're out in public going, do they think they know that their outfit choice is wild?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they know what they put on. I'm pretty sure they know.
I'm like, well, pick your poison. Which one's worse?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but like in terms of like games, going back to the hard left and now back into games. Going back into like I'll never lose the love for like a Civ game. I'll never lose love for WoW, but I know I can never touch her. I'll get re-addicted. But there's just moods that I get into. So I will never be like, oh, yeah, that game was, I think the closest I've ever been was platformers, but I still enjoy a good platformer as well. So it's like, I'll go back to anything. But there are just some games where I'm like, I put in months of time into WoW. I can't do it again, you know? Great question. Great question. Well, listen, there you have it. That has been this week of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast. First and foremost, before we spotlight, or actually, you know what? Spotlight yourself, Kyle, before we get on out of here, before I say my whole spiel.
Mr. K set pretty much everywhere. 6-1 Indie Showcase is happening in 2 weeks on the 19th. I can't believe it's here. It's wild. 61indie.com for all that jazz. Putting the final touches on the edit. Stressed out of my mind. We're getting there. More news about that coming soon. And I love you very much. Say something nice to people you love, including devs that you appreciate. You're muted.
Oh, again, I'm off my A game. I'll be real, off my A game this episode, guys.
We use all our energy to be angry.
All to be angry, and then life happening, and just it's been, listen, y'all, it's been a rough 2 weeks, and I just want to thank everybody, because week in week out y'all show up, whether it's the hard episodes like this where we got to talk serious and maybe get a little passionate about games and whatnot. But honestly, even going through it like I have been, like my family's been, it's really nice to have a escape where I'm not just, you know, um, dealing with the struggles of, real life and such. So I appreciate everybody. And listen, as I know, I'm going to be flooded with like condolences and well wishes and all that. Thank you all so very much in advance. And everybody, thank you so much for liking, sharing the show. I wish I could give a copy of Astrobot to literally everyone, and that wouldn't even be just an ounce of how much you all mean to me. The fact that we have hundreds of folks in our Discord active, chatting about games, chatting about PlayStation in a less toxic manner, just having fun. That's excellent. Again, even talking about some of the stuff we've been needing to talk about, like this episode, I really do hope that I've come out, again, not pulling any punches, but uh, being as true to myself as I can, to express my frustration while hopefully not being a dick to the developers, because that's something I'm often thinking about. That being said, again, everybody, I love you all so very much. Find me at Mr. Badbit. Find me at Mr._Badbit on Threads. Follow the show at PS Trophy on Twitter. If you are watching for the first time, please hit like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell. It really does help us out. Leave a 5-star review if you had fun here, and don't even bother if you didn't. Love you all so much. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, but you're listening. You already know that. Share this out with a friend, and all that jazz. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See y'all next week.
Bye, love you. We are off.